Hey, little girl. How are you? You're a good dog? Yes, you're a very good dog. Yes, you are a very good dog. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm doing a personal review of mine. I don't see a lot of YouTube videos that actually see one of these things where you listen to it and there's no distortion. You just hear a nice clean tone. This is a Dingwall Combustion 6-string bass with a Payson fingerboard. It's not the fingerboard that's usually chosen. Most of the YouTube videos that I see have the maple fingerboard as well as the maple neck. And this is an ash body. And if you are familiar with Dingwalls at all, you know that these basses are very unique in terms of their tone. Their build quality is great, even though this is built in China. It goes back to Canada to be checked out before it goes out to the various dealers. I've picked this up, and this was the one that was in stock. I was wanting the maple neck, maple fingerboard, at the time, but this was the only one in this body color that was available at the time. So I took a chance with the Payson fingerboard. I didn't want it to be too warm compared to the maple fingerboard, which tends to be a little bit brighter. And bright tone is really what the Dingwalls are all about. If I was to go and say, all right, so this is, I got to remember, I actually have the upgraded pickup selector switch in here. So instead of the 4 position, it's the 6 position. This is in jazz bass mode with the neck and the bridge. And I'm running it through an ART Pro Channel 2 with some compression so that it's nice and even tone, so you can at least hear the timbre through your headphone. Headphones are definitely required, I would suggest, for listening to these tones. Very, very clear tone. Incredible. It's got the nickel strings on it. I do plan on putting the stainless steel strings either from Dingwall or from Payson Strings. Actually has a Dingwall set. Getting strings for an instrument like this is kind of difficult unless you're buying a Dingwall string set or if you are buying the Payson Strings, simply because of the scale length. It's got the fan fret system, or the Novak's fan fret system. It basically tempers the instrument. If you ever look inside a piano, all the lower notes are much longer strings, and then the higher notes are shorter strings, and that's essentially what's going on here. So your high C has got a shorter scale, like 32 or 32.5-inch scale, and then the low B here is at a 37-inch scale. So it really makes it for nice. It doesn't feel floppy, and you get more of those higher harmonics in the mid-range and the upper mid-range there. Really just makes it sound incredible. I might be a little out of tune, but we'll fix that here in a minute. Really, really beautiful instrument. Now, I did go and upgrade the 4-position selector switch. It's the only thing I've done with this bass, and probably the only thing I will do as far as modifications are concerned. With the 6-position selector switch, it really does open up the tonal capabilities of this instrument. So I'll start off with position 1, which is just the neck solo. Position 2 is going to put us into Music Man mode here. We're going to put the bridge and the middle in parallel. Position 3 will then put the same pickups here in series this time, which gives it a little bit more of a mid-range attack. So this is again the middle and the bridge in series. Very hot signal. And for those that are fans of Periphery or Adam Nolly Get Good, that's actually the setting that he's using, at least in one song called Absalom. That is the distortion tone on his Dingwall. That's the pickup setting that it's coming from. Position 4 is just jazz bass mode, which is just your bridge and your neck in parallel. There's that tone. Position 5 is just the neck by itself. And then finally, I don't want to say a signature Dingwall sound, but it really does open up it's probably the biggest sound that you can get out of an instrument like this. It's position 6, and it does make that click when you do that. I don't know if you heard that on your headphones. We'll put the bridge in the middle in parallel, but then it'll take those 2 pickups and then run it in series with the neck pickup. So all 3 are being used, and you get this really strong hot signal coming out of the Dingwall. So be sure to, if your amplifier has a pad switch, use it, or bring your gain down, because this is going to be a very strong signal. And I can even see on my preamp that the limit light's coming on a lot more. Playing through a big stack of speakers with that, oh, just nothing else compares, really. It's just an incredible sounding instrument. So when I picked up this instrument, the first thing I noticed was the 18mm spacing at the bridge for the strings. That is very wide for a lot of the instruments that I have. They're anywhere around 15, 16 millimeters typically. It's a lot more comfortable to your fingers. I'm actually, if you're looking at my left hand here, I actually have to not just change my hand position like this, but I also have to go and move my arm a little bit so that I can be comfortable pulling and playing those strings on the lower end. And I think this also what lends to where the strap buttons are. The strap buttons are right here, so it allows you to have the bass more at this position, makes it a little bit easier to grab it like this. That was one of the biggest challenges that I had with instruments. So if you ever get one of them, just be aware that the string spacing is going to give you a little trouble. For a quick compare audio side, and also this is my other 6-string bass, which is a Peavey Grind 6 NTB. It's from around 2008. I got this right after I graduated college, and it's been heavily modified and upgraded. We have EMG 45 DCs and the EMG BQS system, which is a 3-band EQ with variable mid-shift. I think it's about 10 or 12 dB of boost and cut, very similar to the Dingwall, but the string gauges are from 130 to 30, and again, straight frets, standard frets, but you can see with my left hand here that I'm able to actually grip the neck much easier, where my fingers are actually going almost around the neck. The neck is so much thinner compared to the Dingwall, and the string spacing in compare is about 16 millimeters in between the strings, so much thinner, a lot easier to get access to, where even your average bass player will be able to fit their hands around it. Just to give you an idea on a compare, and again, we're only dealing with jazz bass mode, or essentially dealing with 2 double coils here, and that is one of the settings of the Dingwall. The Dingwall has a lot more of a tonal palette than just an instrument like this with only the 2 pickups, that you can't really pick and choose the different coils being used. But still a great sounding instrument. At least I can show you a little bit of a compare of what the difference in sound is in a clean tone setting. All right, and the last sound compare that I wanted to do is that I have my Sterling Ray 35 by Music Man with the roasted maple neck here. I have the double humbucker in the back here, but it can either do in series, or it can do in parallel, or it actually, I think it does in parallel with a filter. But if I compare this tone to the Dingwall with its middle and bridge in series, with these in series, you listen to the timbre of this particular bass with the Dario Pro Stools. A little bit of that mid-range character. it's a 34 scale versus a 37 on the Dingwall, it's not going to be the same, but it's pretty close. I mean, this bass goes for about $900 to $1,000 brand new. I got it as a B stock, so I paid a little bit less than that. But to get that tone as close as you can without having to break the bank, there are definitely options out there. I'm probably not helping my case very much by saying that, but I have both. All right, guys, I'm going to end the video here. And if you've watched this far, thank you so much for supporting the channel and watching. If there's any questions on the Dingwall or anything that I've shown in the video today, please leave a comment below. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next project.